Hello, 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 everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Well, it's not all the youngster girls this time. I'm Julienne Delara, and with me is Carrie Mellon, who's been a friend of mine for a long time. She is the creator of Easy Hold products. Wait a minute. Aha, where's my show and tell? Easy Hold products. You guys have probably seen these before at the Abilities Expo, but probably didn't know. There you go that Carrie had a dream and she was able to make this dream come true all the way up to her successful business that's now going to be spreading to Vancouver Island in Canada. I just found out. So, we're going to have a chat with Carrie and she's going to instruct us all how to take what could be a cool idea and turn it into a business where you can actually make a living without having somebody telling you what to do besides yourself, which is
That's
my
right.
goal. But first, let's thank our sponsors. So, as usual, where are they, Sean? We need our little pictures of our sponsors. There we go. So, as usual, mobility professionals and urology professionals are sponsoring Live to Roll and helping us survive. And so, if you need any kind of DME, durable medical equipment, if you need any kind of urological catheters, whatever, check out these guys. They're in Southern California and they really understand what we're going through. So, thank you, Don Woods, and the whole team over at Mobility Professionals. So, Carrie, you want to introduce yourself? I don't know how good a job I did.
I'm Carrie Mellon. I am the founder and CEO of Mellon Works LLC. Easy Hold. We bring assistive devices that are little stretchy adaptive aids in all different colors and sizes to the market for people who have grip disabilities. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, well, you are our model of how to make your dream come true. And some of the folks know that I'm an artist, and I applied this to my paintbrush here, so can do can do this. And we're actually ta-da ta-da. Don't need grip strength to be an artist. So that's just a tiny example of some of the things. I mean, here's to be in contrast, here's the other contrast of things I could attach it to.
Yeah, it fits on something as tiny as a pencil or a stylus to something as large as a sippy cup, like that, or a
Oh,
boat oar, or something even for gardening tools. If you have a blower and those blowers are heavy and hard to hold, you can slip it on a blower. You can put it on tennis rackets, on bicycle handles, grooming aids, play aids, technology. Just you can put it on a mouse. You can anything that you can slip
huh?
an easy hold on will make it easier to hold for someone with a mobility issue, finger loss, limb differences, or just poor grip.
So how did you come up with this? It
Mm.
was a sunny Tuesday. You were lying in your hammock in Barbados, and all of a sudden,
Almost, almost.
yeah.
I've been a Hollywood costumer for 35 years, using my hands daily, sewing, building, creating costumes for television shows and movies. I'd worked on
Mhm.
Nickelodeon for the last 15 years and had made some really strenuous sewing costumes that week. I was sewing on, I think Ariana Grande was in a noodle costume where I was sewing thousands of noodles onto her costume, and for a Nickelodeon show. And my thumbs were so sore, and it was a hiatus. So this was also the day before Easter. And I was trying to clean out my barn. I have horses, and I was trying to clean my barn and sweep my barn out. And my thumbs were so sore, I could not hold onto the broom. It was so
Mhm.
sore that I was trying to think, I have a whole party of people coming tomorrow, my whole family. How am I going to clean this barn? So I grabbed some duct tape, and I have an example here. I grabbed some duct tape and I
Ah,
made a loop on my broom handle, And that is the way I was able to sweep my barn out. Just a simple loop. And as I was sweeping, I was thinking, what about other people who have had a stroke or Parkinson's or ALS or just have a poor grip or even missing digits? How are
Mhm.
they surviving on a daily basis without, without a grip? I was really running through my mind. So I finished sweeping and I was impressed that I didn't have to use my sore thumbs. And the next day at the party, my sisters and I were bobbing in the swimming pool, enjoying Easter Sunday. And one sister is a chef and a fine artist. The other sister is an early childhood educator, director of early child care facilities. And
Mhm.
I'm a costumer, and we're bobbing in the pool saying, well, we're in our 50s and 60s now. Do we want to continue with our occupations, or is there time to do something else? We all
Uh,
wanted to really think about the last third of our lives in maybe a different way. We were ready to pivot from our jobs. We started
mhm.
throwing out ideas, daycare centers, our family fudge recipe, the buns we make, we're throwing out ideas. And I said, well,
Yeah.
listen, gals, don't laugh, but yesterday, I had to tape my hand to the broom to just clean the house for y'all. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe making a little cuff to go on a broom to help me hold it, or a cuff that could go on anything. I jumped out of the pool. I ran into the house. I got a silicone pot holder. I cut two holes on it.
Oh, for
I
heaven's sake.
slipped it over the handle and I said, something like that. Just something really simple that's made of like a really clean material that you could get a grip on something. Really simple. And they
Yeah.
laughed at my idea, but they said, you know what? We think you've got something. So I went from this to this. Here it is
There you go.
in a year's time. And I'll tell you how
Wow.
you can do it today if
Mhm.
you'd like to know.
Absolutely. I mean, we all have dreams, and most of us, I think, go, "Oh God, why doesn't somebody invent, well, wait, how
Yeah.
about if I could probably do that." And then what happens after that?
Exactly. Well, fortunately, I had two sisters who I trust and love, and they're very creative people like I am. Our parents had taught us well how to be crafty. We could
Mhm.
all sew and we could build and we could melt and make and everything. So we were very crafty, and we knew that we didn't have a lot of money. I'd
Mhm.
heard that it takes $1 million to retire, but my bank account was short about $1 million. So I knew I had to do something.
A lot of us
So
have this problem.
I know. And so my sisters and I were willing to throw in, we each dived deep into our savings account and we decided to each throw in $7,000 to make this happen in
Mhm.
this year. So I had the help of two other sisters. Otherwise, an OT, an occupational therapist might come up with something like this, or one individual. It's a lot of work for one person. My first
Mhm.
advice is to find a partner
Mhm.
or your family or someone to help you because it is a lot of work. So get
What
get
kind
a
of
team.
person what kind of person would you recommend? I mean, obviously somebody you can get along with,
Mhm.
but not a yes man because you need other ideas, right? What
No,
would be the ideal personality type you're looking for?
a person you've had a long-term history with.
Mm.
Someone really who you have a long-term history with, whether it's a family member or a close friend or a
Mhm.
coworker in a job you're in maybe right now. But I really, and even if you don't want them to become your partner, you need someone else to be a backup or to be there with questions or to help
Mhm.
just lift you up. But I definitely do feel like our success was owed to us because we were able to accomplish a lot in this short period of time and keep the momentum going. So you need a supportive group around you, whether it's family or best friends.
How many years ago was the swimming pool revelation?
So it was 2014 that the revelation happened. This
That's
was
not that
10
long
plus years
ago.
ago. Yeah, it was
Well,
about, so 11 years ago, 11 and a
mhm.
half years ago. And it's really funny because someone had asked me to do a show called From Store to Shelf in 12 months, and I'm sorry, from idea to shelf in 12 months. So I just recently went through our whole timeline and could not really believe how much we accomplished month after
Yeah.
month. It really did get to shelf in 1 year. And it can be done, but there are a few pitfalls that, I hope that maybe you can avoid.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I can help you with that too. But
What was your biggest pitfall? That's a great place to start.
ooh, when we first started, we didn't know a lot about running a small business.
Sure.
And so we really had to take some time to learn how to run a small business. But there is something called SCORE out there, SCORE, and you can look that up, and it provides free mentors for you with any question you might have. I mean,
Mhm.
free mentors. And you can, and all around the U.S., anywhere, and they will mentor you via the internet, via phone, or in person if you choose a mentor near you. So it's very easy to go on their website, SCORE, and find a mentor, become a member. They also have in your local areas $15 classes that you can learn how to do marketing. You can learn
Mhm.
how to do your taxes. You can learn whatever. So that was a great help, as is the small business administrations are very good too. That was very helpful. We also needed to, we once I figured out that we wanted to make our product out of silicone,
Mhm.
we went to a Hollywood mask shop, and they were more than happy and they sold materials for making masks to show us all about how to mold, cure, um, uh, and cure and color silicone to make our handles. So, check out your local resources if you
Now,
have an
wait a minute.
idea.
You're not saying you manufacture these yourself, are you?
We do not, but we made our prototypes ourselves.
Oh,
We made
gotcha.
all of our prototypes ourselves. We made 800 prototypes in our kitchens. Just tons and
Wow.
tons, because we wanted to get a proof of concept of our idea first. So
Yeah.
we made 800 prototypes of easy holds in all different sizes. We put them on anything we could think of, from
Mhm.
our garden to garden implements, to our kitchen to kitchen implements, garage, sewing, sports. And then we took them to a flea market and we laid it all out on the table. And we just let the world walk by,
Uh-huh.
and tell us what they would do with an easy hold.
Wow. So you got a lot of product feedback first, right?
Exactly. We got a lot of product feedback. We also got immediately a special education director at Agora Unified School District who had 5 students with disabilities ranging in age from 18 months to 5 years, who she said, "Can we be your test bunnies?" So we
Oh.
sent a lot of product of our samples with her, and those 5 children are still using easy holds, and they're like 14 years old, and they take easy holds to school, and they're playing with them in sports, and they're riding bikes with them. Those test bunnies are still children who we keep in contact with. That was one amazing thing. Then we also had a news reporter come by who did a story about us in the newspaper, like a 2 big page story in the local newspaper. We had nurses and therapists come by, and we were able to hand out a lot of samples and get our first sort of testers through that one flea market.
So, okay, so one step is you got to put yourself out there in the community. You got to put yourself
Yeah.
someplace where people can happen across you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes. And because
Mhm.
we were able to make the prototype ourselves for relatively inexpensive, we could make enough prototypes to hand out to people. We
Yeah.
also, after that day, we really wanted to reach therapists in hospitals and doctors and nurses. So we got on the phone and we called up these offices and said, "Hello, I'm a costume designer. My sister's a chef. The other one is a teacher. Can we come in and talk to you about this assistive device idea we have?" No, nobody took our call.
I was just going to ask because getting through the gatekeeper is nigh
Was
on
very,
impossible,
yes, but we did, because what we did do is each one of us put an easy hold on, of some kind of a different thing. We went
right?
and we stood in the hallways at the hospitals where the therapists were until they came out for lunch. And then we sprung out at them and we said, "Have you seen this?" We literally did. We ambushed them. And it worked fantastic because we did it to about 5 different therapists and one
Hmm.
doctor. And they said, "Yes, give us samples. Absolutely. We have people right now that could use them." So that really worked well too.
All right. So the surprise and attack. We got that.
Surprise and intact.
Did
Yes.
anyone come along and say, "Get the hell out of my hospital"? Or
No one. No,
wow,
not
you
at
managed to
all.
stay under the
No.
radar.
Yeah, hospitals are there are people walking all over the place,
Sure.
going and delivering and we weren't creating a fuss, and every time the therapist we stopped a therapist, they wanted to talk to us about it. So if you have a product that's helpful for our community, people are dying to know about it. We put easy hold samples on our on a Facebook page we started early, even before we had the real thing to sell. And so
Mhm.
many parents were ready to just try something new for their child that by the time we had our e-commerce shop up for sale, we had like 500 or 600 mothers and fathers waiting to purchase our product.
So in the beginning, you handed them
Mhm.
out for free as a sample, right?
We
Now, with a
did.
lot of products, you couldn't do that because they'd be too big, too expensive, what have
Mhm.
you. But it
Yes.
worked. It worked for you guys.
Yes, it did. And some of the products, you're right, they would not be quite as inexpensive to make. But there are
Hmm.
also things you can do. If you say, let's say you had 10 prototypes to spare, you could offer them to a lending library or an assistive technology that you would get many people to see. We also gave them to professors of occupational therapy.
Hmm.
And and that became very helpful, allowing them to use it. If it's something more expensive, you can certainly lend it to that person for a
Hmm.
period of time for them to test. And we did. We lended some packs to lending libraries, and that is a helpful avenue to go also. Um, if you cannot afford to send out as many samples as we did.
Right. Well, the chick in the chair had a good question. She's asking about, did you want to get a patent before you showed anybody? Or did you even think
We
about it?
did. No, we absolutely did. The day that my sisters went, well, the day after the swimming pool aha moment, my sisters went to the Hollywood Mask Shop to learn all about molding, coloring, pouring, curing silicone. I stayed
Right?
at home and got on my computer to look for prior art to see if anything had been invented yet. And the wonderful thing about the new days versus the old days is that in the old days you had to hire an attorney to look for anything prior in the USTPO, the U.S. Patent Office.
Uh,
Now you can almost just Google the thing you're trying to make or invent,
right.
and you'll see around the whole world what's been made. So
Uh-huh.
at that time, 14 years ago, I'm Googling every keyword I can think about that would be a rubber adaptive aid or an assistive device or a handle you can put on anything. And
Yeah.
nothing was coming up. As well as in my 20s, I actually volunteered at Northridge Hospital in the spinal cord injury wing for about a year. I was trying to
Uh-huh.
decide what my occupation should be, and a professor had did a test called the Briggs statin test or something like that, which pairs
Hmm.
you with the job that you might be good at because of the environment you like. It's like you answer
Hmm.
100 questions, and it
Hmm.
came up with occupational therapy or film and television. Well, I was already working in kind of film and television. I was doing costumes, but I'm thinking, what is occupational therapy? So
Uh-huh.
I went to just volunteer for a month or two, but it turned into a year because I loved it so much. And in that time, I learned about the assistive devices they had, but the ones
Right.
they had were made of Velcro and leather
Hmm.
and elastic, and they would get dirty in an instant.
Hmm.
Julian, you'd be painting and it would get wet and dirty and you couldn't use it a second time.
Right.
So I didn't know about what I was searching for. And when I realized that there wasn't anything like this out there, we got a provisional patent right away. And a provisional patent is pretty reasonable and it lasts a year.
was just going to ask you how expensive it is.
So
Do you
you can
recall?
file a provisional yourself for a couple of $100, like $200 to $300, I believe.
And that
So it's,
kind of
yes,
puts dibs on your idea for a year,
yes.
so
Puts
you
dibs on
can.
it exactly. And you can
Mhm.
actually advertise it. If you wanted to sell your own prototypes, you can put provisional patent, you can put patent pending on it. And
Oh, I've
that
seen patent pending.
Yeah, yeah. Patent pending
Okay.
means, hey, go ahead and try and knock me off, but I'm already in process. Because
Yeah.
getting a patent takes you about 2.5 years to get the actual utility patent or design patent. So we had the provisional patent, and as soon as we started hearing how much buzz our product had,
Yeah.
we started pretty quickly to go ahead and just file for our non-provisional patent. And we filed for a design and a utility, which we have both.
Oh, okay. So nobody can take your design, and nobody can take, sorry, cats, and nobody can take your what it's
The
for. Is that
function.
what
Mhm.
design and utility means?
Yes, yes.
Got it.
People,
And you,
it isn't that people won't try. I mean, people are always trying to get around it, and we're whack-a-moling other products off of Amazon and off of Walmart. And it takes work,
how do
14
you
years
whack-a-mole
later.
them? Do you have to sue
Well,
them, or you just write to
no,
them and say cease and desist?
we have to write to Walmart's brand protection, and Walmart sells our products as well as every once in a while something else pops on, and we have to write to
Mhm.
them, provide our IP, and then they'll take it down. So it's just if you have something that's really good, that's just part of the business. It's that part is maintaining your technology, and so that's just part of it, and we do it every day.
Well, and Quadfather is saying he's still using the same one on his electric toothbrush. So you made something that doesn't get destroyed right away, right?
Absolutely.
It will
Yeah,
last,
it will.
is what
If
we say.
what actually is invention? It's actually innovating new with old. There are very few brand new ideas. So
Yeah.
anybody out there who is interested in bringing a product to market, really think about how you can improve on something that's already there. The improvement for me is, yes, there are handles you can put on anything. Everyone's got a handle.
Mhm.
And yes, there were universal cuffs made of Velcro and leather. I improved upon it by bringing silicone, which is a relatively new material. We've been cooking for silicone now for what, 20 years or something, silicone
Mhm.
baking sheets. But before that, it wasn't around. The newest, when I was looking to have our patent made, I realized that the latest invention in holding technology was Velcro, which was invented in the 1950s, I think. That's a
Yeah.
long time ago. So this new technology is the first thing since the 1950s.
Oh,
So
wow.
think about your product. Think about
Mhm.
you're riding your scooter, or you're in your wheelchair, or you're holding a device. Think about how you can improve it with simply just with better materials.
Now, we've got somebody who's asking if you were tempted to go on Shark Tank, or did you?
We were tempted in the beginning because the idea of the monetary value, at the time they were doing the where you would ask people for money. What is the name of that? Where people just sent you money and then they were a part of your product? Crowdfunding.
Mm,
So we talked about crowdsourcing, and we all started doing a video, but then we realized that if 1,000 people sent us $1,000, or 10,000 sent us $10,000, then we would have to deliver product to them wherever in the world they were. That could,
mm.
yeah, we'd have money now, but down the road, that shipping and it would be very expensive. Well, that's kind of the same thing with Shark Tank. In the beginning, it seems like a great idea, but then they take 20% of your 20% at the least of your business. And a lot of times in new businesses, that's the only profit you have.
Right.
So Shark Tank is not a great idea for many, many products. It is a television show. And while we did knock around the idea and we filmed some of ideas, they also at that time were not taking products, anything related to disability at all. That 14 years
Did they
ago, if
come
it was,
out and say that?
yes, basically they did.
Oh, for
Yes.
heaven's sake.
So they've changed now and they've come around, but but basically I'm very grateful I did not go with Shark Tank because, I've worked in the
Yeah.
film industry for 40 years now. And
Mm.
I know what the difference is a television show is, than actually the reality of bringing a business. It might be one out of 1,000 that really will make something of that show. And there is
Right.
danger in having your product taken away by bad
Yeah.
people wrapped around
Yeah.
that show.
And all of a sudden, you now have a boss, or at least there's people you have to answer to. And that's a big goal now in my life at my age is no more people to tell me what to do. I don't want to answer to anybody but myself and those people, as you say, your sisters, your partners, people you've
Mhm.
already invited in, right? That's good
Exactly.
enough.
That is
So, yeah, you don't want to sell your soul to the devil or to anybody else, right?
no, and the profits you're making. If you do start a business with someone you respect, love, adore, family, the money you earn, that dollar you earn, whether it's for yourself or your family, it means so much more. That $1 is $3. I have two
Hmm.
partners. My daughter in law and son bought my sisters out. They retired. And
Uh,
so every dollar we make, we're thrilled to share with one another. And that's the
yeah.
feeling you get when you start a business with a friend, a relative, or a business partner you love or trust.
All right. So we're about halfway through. So let's recap now. So you get a great idea, or your thumbs hurt and you put duct tape on a broom.
Yeah.
So there's your aha. Then you have to, I don't know in what order, but you have to find people who want to get in bed with you, so to speak. You have to research the product and see what is like it out there,
Yes.
right? And what comes, did you actually write a business plan?
Yes, we did have a business plan. So Marilee, who is the studious one of us, my oldest sister, she
Mhm.
did, she wrote the business plan. Our main office was at her house because she was technically savvy and she had a lot of computer skills, as well as her husband had a lot of computer skills and he was developing websites. So we had a business plan, we had ideas. We knew that we had to make a product that would be a certain amount of money and we could sell it for a certain amount of money. We
Mhm.
knew we had to find silicone manufacturers that we could trust to make our product for a certain amount of money. And so that was our next challenge, was to try and take our idea to get the manufacturer. That took a few months to do, but we did find a manufacturer in Lake Forest, California, who sourced silicone out of China. So that was a huge step we took. Um, when it comes to the legal parts, you do have to file a business license. You've got to get your
Yeah.
EIN number from taxes.
Yep.
You do have to get those small business goals all set up. And then you have to
Mhm.
start a website, an e-commerce website, and Shopify is great for that. If you're wondering about how you're going to sell your product, Shopify is a very easy way to do that. So
I was wondering about that. So did they take a percentage? Shopify?
yeah, they do, but it's minimal. It's like they take 6% or 5% of sales. And Julian, before that actually is once we found our manufacturer and we had a
Uh-huh.
date of when we were going to start manufacturing, you came into play there because that was the Abilities Expo that got us our
Yep.
first distributor. I don't know if you
This is
remember
where we
that.
met.
This is
Yeah.
where we met. So
Mhm.
when the most integral part of my story is that when I called and talked to you, I said, listen, we just have prototypes, but we want to have a booth. This is our research and development. We want to see how we're doing. We are having manufactured now. So what can you do for us? You put us between Patterson Medical and North Coast Medical. And because I said, can you show me the floor? And is there any way I can squeak between these people? And you're like, well, that's hard. That's fantastic real estate. I don't know if I could do it, Carrie. You're already getting the first timer discount. Now you want to be between the two largest medical device people in the States or in the world, maybe. And you did it. Thank you. Because,
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Yep, I'm so glad it worked
oh,
because I
and
can
it
match
did.
people, but you never know if it's going to work. Then the ball's in your court, right? And
Mhm.
obviously, you did something right.
Oh, we did because that expo there were a lot of wheelchair manufacturers and vans, and they had
Yeah.
some hospitals and therapy centers, but they didn't have a table like ours, which was really colorful easy holds on all kinds of toys and games for children, on
Uh,
musical instruments, on
oh,
xylophones and on violin bows and on drumsticks. They're so good. And we had little drumming stands, and we had them on all kinds of things, not just for grooming and eating, but on toys and technology. So
smart.
our booth was filled with people for 3 days. It was like a 3 day event. I
Mhm.
think that first one
Yeah,
was. For three
yeah.
days, our booth was filled with people. And I could see North Coast and Patterson looking over at us. And on the
Uh,
second day, North Coast came and took me by the elbow and said, "Can we talk?" And on the third day, Patterson literally took my elbow and said, "We want to distribute your product when it comes to market."
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so which of the sisters was good at marketing? Because putting the things on toys and different colors, good ideas.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when we made our 8,000, I'm going to show you the bag.
Okay.
We made our 800 random.
Oh, for
These
heaven's
are our
sakes.
homemade easy holds, and we
Uh-huh.
each took up, 200, 300, and we took them home, and everybody scrambled through their house finding anything it could go on. And Marilee worked at a daycare center. Where she was a facilitator of these early childhood facilities, so she
Uh-huh.
took everything in her facility and put it on an easy hold on it. And so we found musical instruments and violin bows and clangers and dongers and xylophones and anything. And so there's so many fun things you can do with our product, like your product. You can ride a bike, you can jump rope where you
Yeah.
couldn't do it before, you can hold an ice cream cone. So we wanted to make sure that everything was represented that a person might want to do: fish or whatever it is, ski or golf.
So once you had the initial idea, all of a sudden you've got new ideas pouring out. Okay, so we've got this
Yeah,
duct tape on the broom.
yeah,
So and you can use it this way, and you can use it this
right,
way. And
right. And
okay,
that
so we
you're
gained a couple of
Mhm.
questions. Can you
Oh
do
yeah.
a custom? Can you do a custom product? Can you do custom products? That's what
Can you do
Trace.
custom products? Well, we
Mm-hmm.
have several different innovations that Easy Hold with different holes to fit different objects. So we
Right.
do have some. They're not being manufactured right now. For me, I have done some custom work. We had a little girl in New Zealand or Australia that wanted to join the Australian Youth Orchestra, which is a big deal, and she played a violin bow. So, but she needed them in black. So we hadn't started manufacturing the black easy holds yet. So I did make her a custom set of black easy holds. Now they're in black and they're in platinum for the medical industry, for hospitals and therapy center. So we have colors, platinum and black. So yeah, I mean, I can do custom. Someone can hit me up, but we have so many different sizes now that usually
Yeah.
they'll fit just about anything you need.
Yeah. And then John wanted to know if they're only available in the US. But
No, we have 35 global distributors. They are all around the world, so you can just about find them anywhere. We ship anywhere around the world, yeah, we have global distributors that can go anywhere. Yeah.
so you had Patterson take you by the
Hmm.
elbow
Yeah.
and was that your first experience having somebody else distribute for you?
It was because we didn't even have a distributor yet, and we had no product to distribute. We only had a date when
Right.
we would actually have the product. So
Yeah.
they were the first, along with, I believe it was the right stuff. which has, it's called The Right Stuff, which has arthritis supplies and supplies for schools. Those two were our first distributors. We had also gone to some local pharmacies, just like Burt's Family Pharmacy and little local
Yeah.
ones, and they took some of our products for sort of testing to see how they would do. So yes, Patterson was our first. We did, however, launch before Patterson on our personal Shopify website.
Uh-huh.
And that was very easy to do. Once, if you have anybody techie in your family that can get you started on the Shopify website, the minute we launched, because we had our Facebook page and parents were actively waiting, the minute we launched, you could hear the ding, ding, ding of people ordering. It was really a wonderful feeling, a wonderful
That
feeling.
must have been such a high.
Yeah, yeah. We pressed the launch button and we're just sitting around staring at each other. And literally 30 seconds later, we heard a ding.
Let's get
Yeah.
back in
And
the
it was a
swimming pool.
very, that was, I remember that night having a flying dream. And I rarely have flying dreams, but what's been really interesting is when I launched this Easy Hold, when we launched Easy Hold, I've had more flying dreams than I ever had prior. And
Oh.
it's because of what you talked about is kind of being your own boss. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden, it's unlimited what you can do and where you can go. And instead of having something pressing down, you're just like, oh, I'm flying.
Nothing's gonna hold me down, right?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
Ah, I love this. So, Gata is asking, are they easy to sterilize?
They
And
are. So they are. And that's one of the deals with some of these knockoff products that we keep trying to bat aside is they're made of unhealthy products. Easy Hold is made of 100% food grade silicone. So
mhm,
you can put it in an autoclave at a hospital under high heat, 500-degree heat. So it's the same product that also you put into your baking oven. You can
mhm,
sterilize these in your dishwasher basket or
mhm,
with hospital grade medical wipes. It will not degrade it, or even in your washing machine. I throw them in a little laundry basket bag and put it in my washing machine with my clothes, and they wash it. So, and you can tell if it's really, even if you write with a Sharpie on the Easy Hold, that
uh-huh,
it will not stay because it's not plastic, it's silicone.
oh,
The same kind of silicone that goes into your body.
uh-huh,
So with children, if you have it on a child's fork or something, or a child holding a pencil and they chew on it, it's not harmful.
oh, wow. Now, did you think all this through before you
Yes,
settled on silicone? Because you didn't really, because you went into the kitchen and grabbed silicone, right?
I
That
did.
was
I did.
the next
I
step after you
really,
got.
so, I was thinking in my head, now is this podcast for adults? Because
Yes,
actually I was thinking in my head for a sex toy material,
of course.
which is silicone, and it's very, very soft. So I
Uh-huh,
was thinking silicone, really healthy, really easy to clean, and they always have it really soft, right? So that's
mhm.
how I came up with silicone. Yeah, and then the silicone pot holder, this is the exact one from 14 years ago, was
Really glad
made
you
with
just didn't pull
silicone.
out a sex toy right now.
I
Although
know.
that was what ran through my head. Okay, pot holder, or there are other options.
But at that Abilities Expo, Julian,
Yeah.
something interesting happened. There was a couple that came to our booth, and they were little people. They were very petite,
Mhm.
and they said, "Can you come up with an adapter to hold a sex toy with Easy Hold?" And we said we could.
Of course.
Yeah. And so we talked after that, and we advised them on what kind of an adapter you could use to lengthen your arm to then put
Mhm.
an Easy Hold on your sex toy. So it was really an eye-opening experience, that first Abilities Expo, and wonderful because we're all
Easy hold.
human.
We aim to please
Exactly.
for all your holding needs. It's a whole new marketing campaign. Oh, for heaven's sake. All right, let's see. Where were we? Okay, so we got you your first year, you got your patent pending, so you were
Yep.
safe from anybody stealing you for a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got what you were going to make the products out of,
Yep.
where you could get it. All
Yep.
right.
Yep. We
You
had
you
done all of our test marketing.
You got your
we let me
business
think. I'm
plan.
looking at notes. Yeah, we got the system down.
Hmm.
We continued that, but we then had to look for local resources because once you've got your product narrowed down and you do have your manufacturer and everything, then you got to figure out how to market it and package it and who's going to ship it and send it. So this is also where it kind of goes back to getting people on board that you can trust. We did go online and we saw, oh, this is a cheap company that'll make our flyers, and oh, they're in Texas, and here's another, and we're in California, and here's another
Right.
one that we get bags from. But we really wanted to keep it small. We wanted to use local resources in our little
Hmm.
community. So we went to our local printer face to face. We said, look, we can't afford really expensive packaging. Can you make us inserts? This is a great product. People need it. We're just starting out. So we did that to find our printers, to locate our bags, to locate our boxes, to do all of this. We really tried to stay local and form a connection with each of the resources we needed. We would do things like when Christmas came, I'd bring baskets of goodies to thank them. And that enabled us to keep our costs low. They didn't want to keep raising our price every time we ordered new inserts. They valued us as people who were there showing up, and we developed relationships with them. So getting that community feeling behind your product is really important as well. And we did that. And we did do our packaging, just Marilee and Wendy and I, for that first couple of years all by ourselves. We didn't hire anyone else to do any packaging. We wanted to look at every single easy hold before we laid it down in the package, make
Ah.
sure it was perfect. Get that off there, that piece of dust.
Now, do you think that personal touch, rather than going, well, let's turn our business plan over to China and have them do it, do you think that personal touch had more to do with who you are as people, or more to do with the fact that it's a disability product?
Hmm.
Both.
It was a combination of things. Turning your product over to someone is very expensive. To have someone else, it's called pick and pack. Uh, put it into different packs and then shipping from them, and you lose kind of control of the quality control. And because
Ah.
it was a new product, we thought it was really important that that product showed up pristine and
Mhm.
clean, because it turns out that even though we invented it for ourselves, 75% of the users are children from 5 months to 10 years. So it's children that are really, really needing and using our product. And in that case, you want pristine products, and you want to know that they're super clean and they're exactly what they've ordered. We also wanted to keep control so that they could reach us anytime and say, oh gosh, these aren't really the right size for us. And we'd say, keep them, donate them. We're going to send you another pack the right size.
Oh, nice.
So we donate just about as much product as we sell, because we want to be in lending libraries. We want to give to therapists who have children that can't afford. We do try and get our product out there, so that those who cannot afford it can access it. Especially children.
Well, as a new business, how can you afford to do that in your first year or two?
Um, It we Now I don't say that we did that in our first year. That's more like,
Hmm.
and now we are doing that for further marketing. In the beginning, that first year, we did not. We didn't donate. I mean, we donated our samples, but
Right.
we didn't even have our real product. You know what? I flipped to now. I should stay back in then.
No, 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 no,
Let
no.
me let me
We're
go
not
back to
linear.
my
We're
then
not
time.
linear here. No,
Yeah.
part of me wants to, track the process, but part of me just wants to hear the stories.
Yes, yeah. Let me see where else we would be. Oh, okay. So when it comes back to getting the bags, this is kind of interesting with your product. So when we named Easy Hold, we hadn't really thought it through completely. So if you have a product you want to bring to market, the name you give it, it will be easier to trademark. copyright and keep track of if it's not an obvious name. We did have a lot of trouble and expense trademarking Easy Hold because it's two words and it's obvious, even though we had the Z in it. They didn't really like that, that they kept coming back on us. So I am suggesting that if you trademark something, it should be something non-obvious. It shouldn't be two words in a row. If you've got let's say you've got a new door handle opener,
Uh-huh.
shouldn't be Door Whiz or Open
Uh,
Fast or anything like that. It should be a name like the Crookshank or Gobbledygook or
uh-huh.
something like that, something that's not so obvious. So that's one little bit of advice. So do your research when naming your product. It'll make it easier to patent. And then also it makes it easier for the keywording so that people will find you on Google.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't put hold in, and you'd be
Easy hold.
overwhelmed, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So when we were in the beginning, we called it a grip assist. And
Uh-huh.
that was a word we came up with. So we advertised it as a grip assist, but nobody knows what a grip assist is. So my
Right.
advice is when you invent your product, you advertise it for what it is. For instance, you don't say this is a grip assist for people who need better grip. You say, this thing will hold a cat and catapult that cat into the bed. That's what you call it. And it'll save you a lot of time and dollars. So
Got
that
it.
was something we learned, that we had to advertise it as what you would search for and not what we wanted to call it.
These are all things I never would have thought of, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is yeah, this is the stuff you learn from painful experience, right?
It is. It really is. And when people are thinking about bringing a product to market, there are products you can bring to market that have prior art, but maybe
Mhm.
have not been made. You can license it. Let's say, Julian, you came up with another idea for something that you use every day. And
Mhm.
it's another idea, and you went and said, "But I can't make this because it is made of hard plastic, but I'd like to make it out of silicone." You can
Mhm.
still do it. You can still make it yourself and license it from. If the person comes to you and says, "Hey, I already have that. You can't do this."
Mhm.
You asked to license it. So innovating new ideas, it's not an end all if someone has already done it. Um, and also, when invention, when if you want to invent something, um, the positives, of course, we know what it is. You can independently work at home, right?
Mhm.
There are a few negatives to it too. Running your own business is a lot of work. It's like it's like owning a restaurant. You have to be there every day,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
bar, or
Yeah.
things disappear. So, I would say that while you do have that independence, it's going to take you a lot of work and to do it as well, but a lot of rewards.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously you're happy and
Mhm.
is now does Easy Hold, is that enough that you can quit your day job?
Yes.
You and your
So
sisters?
for the first 5 years, I think I did not quit my day job.
Mhm.
Either did Wendy. Marilee did after 2 years. That first year, we all had donated $7,000 to the cause. We had
Right?
$21,000, and I don't know if you're interested in learning and knowing about what we actually spent in that first year,
Oh,
because
yes.
for
It's
so
21,000 seems like nothing.
I know, but in this was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So
Uh-huh.
if you add about 25% to this, maybe you can get there too, because I did figure it all out. We spent exactly $21,000 that first year, and we did our research and development. We had $8,000 worth of patents, $1,300 worth of trademarks. We ordered our first batch of product from the manufacturer for $8,388. We did all of our CAD files and
Well, okay,
drawings for
what's a CAD file?
$500. Oh, CAD files. That's an interesting one. So when we made our little prototypes, we
Yeah.
molded them silicone, we had to have a CAD file drawer come and measure them and make the technical aspects into a file that a computer can read. And
Oh,
once he
gotcha.
made those files, we sent that computer reading to a guy who did 3D printing. We didn't have a
Mhm.
3D printer at the time, 14 years in 2014, but they did, and they made these, which
Mhm.
are then we made our real molds from these, and then we could send that to the manufacturer. So CAD drawings and CAD files were, how much did we spend? We spent about $500 for that. So now you could maybe you could do, yeah, you could maybe do it yourself, or if you paid someone,
Probably.
add about 25 to 50% for this 10 more years of
Now,
so
is that mandatory in order to get something produced, something made? Do you have to go through it has to be drawn on the computer and then a prototype made with a 3D printer? Or is that just for
Um, the prototype made with we had to do it with the prototype made with a 3D printer for just our simple tool, because we needed to take very technical measurements, and we
you?
couldn't take technical measurements with a soft silicone product.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
So they had to be hard technical measurements.
Mhm.
And so that's why we needed to have a hard plastic to do the
Mhm.
technical measurements from. Yeah. But when it comes to other product, let's see, is there anyone in your audience who's developing an idea right now?
I didn't see any notes that said they were.
Hmm.
Let's go, but I wasn't watching really closely. Let's
Yeah,
see. That would
because for
be
other products, you might need something different when it comes to a patent,
uh-huh.
and production. Um, and anyone is free to reach out to me if they have questions about bringing a product to market. You can give them my email address, carrie@easyhold.com. But
Easy
really,
hold with a
we
Z.
Easy hold with a Z, yeah. But
Mhm.
really, when you have when you're working elsewhere and the dollars are still coming in, we were able to do this with three women on $21,000 in that first year ourselves to bring our
That's
product to
really
market.
encouraging to hear. It
Yeah,
really is. Oh,
it
Chicken
is.
a Chair says she's got something that she's developing. Can you tell us what, or is it a deep dark secret, Miss Chick? And John says he's not smart enough. Come on. It's just a dream. It's a
Not smart enough.
dream.
Well, it's smart is, yeah, that's up for interpretation. Everybody's got a skill. And my job always as a costume designer, my skill was in looking and seeing what I thought looked good and what looked pretty or funny or fun, and just building that costume. I don't know how smart you have to be to do that, but you do have to have a love of figuring things out. And if you're an entrepreneur, that's what you love to do. I don't think doesn't depend how smart you are. Now with internet, you can do anything you want. You can develop a product and bring it to market quite easily. And social
Mhm.
media will advertise it for you. Our community, people with disabilities, will advertise it for you as
Yeah,
well. We'll see something we need and we will share away.
yeah. Word of mouth is huge in our community,
Hmm.
isn't it?
Hmm.
Well,
Yes,
Miss Chick
absolutely.
says no patent yet. That's okay. Yeah, we don't want to take your secrets, but is it something for the disability community? Just wondering. Actually, has this been helpful, Miss Chick in a Chair? Has this been helpful to you in your process? That's what we want to know. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah. Oh, she says she has prototypes. Awesome.
Oh, good for you. Well, okay, if you have prototypes, then you go ahead and print off your NDA, non-disclosure, and then you can start sharing that idea with some friends, some mentors, some people you trust, and you can hit up the Small Business Administration score, find out if they have some mentors that can talk you through this, how to get your prototype built. Depending on what it is and what aspect, you can go online and find the closest thing to it and see who's distributing that product. You can see
Oh.
like-minded products. Let's say it's something that hooks onto a table to allow you to eat or drink easier or
Mhm.
write. You would go on and Google distributors of access table laps or something, tabletops.
Mhm.
And then you can reach out to those people and say, I'm a new inventor in your space. Would you mind chatting with me a little? I'll send you an NDA. People do that to me all the time. They send me an NDA, I'll sign it, and then I'll just help them a little bit through a product that they might have and want to bring to market. The more adaptive products on the market, the more my product will reach more people and sell. When you have a large marketplace with lots of products, people will go to that. It's kind
Yeah.
of like when you're at a swap meet and you look across the aisle and you see something that has three things laying on the ground, and then you look over there and there's 100 things. You go to
Yeah.
the 100 things, right? And it's the
Sure.
same thing with on the adaptive marketplace. You want to go and look and see lots of options, lots of stimulating products, lots of different ideas. So I'm never afraid. I never think when somebody reaches out, oh my God, they want to steal my idea. They want to change my idea. They were going to do something that's going to conflict with mine. I just say, wow, another product on the market.
Yeah. Oh, wow, you're amazing. Because Chicken a Chair says that she keeps emailing people requesting NDA signatures and they won't do it.
Oh, really?
I guess you're going to
Okay.
the wrong people. We need more
Okay.
people like Carrie in the world, obviously.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. You may, yeah, you may, and I started a group of women inventors about 6 years ago, and we meet every other month or so and just talk about how to further our products together. So that's also a great way is to partner with people and share your story with like-minded people selling in your space, and people flock to it. And then we take our products to expos, and I'll take their products and share it, and we just sort of further our mission that way. But yes, definitely reach out to me.
Carrie at
Mhm.
easyhold.com,
Yeah,
right?
yes, absolutely. Yeah, and so that it can be done if you have the right people around you.
It's so nice to talk to somebody who's successful in business
Hmm.
and is not a big fat jerk.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you're welcoming, you're open, you're encouraging other people.
Hmm.
We
And
need more of you.
I hope so. I hope there will be more out there, and you will find them because I have found so many in this journey. And in the beginning, that first year, I can't honestly say that I understood what partnering with other businesses meant.
Uh-huh.
We're weary about letting your idea get out there. In every year, I understand more and more how you really have to widen your circle and let people know what your product is, how it can help, how other people can make products that will work well with my product. Whatever that is, whoever is listening in the audience today, do you have something that you can improve upon the handle of
Uh-huh.
that we could put in easy? There's a product called Functional Hand, and it's a great little alternative holder that you can hold anything with. So we partner with Functional Hand. They advertise us and we advertise them, because an easy hold slips perfectly on that handle. Don't be afraid to find like-minded products early and reach out to them, because they can assist you. And then once your product is up and running, they can put you on their little website. They can share you on their podcast. They can share you on their social media as well. People do that for us. We do that for other people.
Oh, this is great. This is great. It's the message I'm getting from the world right now is all the little people need to get together and help each other, the other little people,
Hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
the big, powerful people with money are not necessarily going to be helpful to us.
That is the truth. When we
Mm.
first started selling on Amazon, after we got Patterson Medical, we sold with Patterson, their performance health now, for about a year. And then we decided to onboard with Amazon. And there were very few adaptive assistive products on Amazon at that time. Very few. And I was encouraging people to get it on there. But Amazon welcomed us. And they even kind of opened up that space for adaptive products. And I knew they were doing that because we onboarded in 2016. the
Mhm.
latter part, and that was about 2 years after we brought it to market. And by 2019, Amazon had voted us top six woman-owned business on Amazon.
Wow.
So your little
Wow.
product could be voted a top 10 product on Amazon within a couple of years. And it was because of our commitment to the community, our low return rate, our high stars, and it's a product that was very needed by the community.
Mhm.
And that not only that, but they sent a whole film crew out to my ranch. They asked me if I could find some of those first test bunnies from the Agora school. I
Uh-huh.
said, no problem. I'm in contact with them all the time. It was
Yeah.
5 or 6 kids that use our product every day. We invited those 6 kids back to the ranch. We had them painting horseshoes and squirting water guns and jump roping with Easy Hold and riding horses with Easy Hold and feeding chickens with Easy Hold. And Amazon sent a whole full-on crew out with makeup and costumes and lighting and sound, and they did a 10-minute video and played it at their next conference, their huge Accelerate conference in Seattle, Washington, and in their keynote address. And they invited me and my team to go, put us up in the hotel there, and watched it on the big screen. So while Amazon created a big space for adaptive products, and they're still working on doing that, which is a
So
good thing.
your experience in jumping on board Amazon has been good.
It has been a positive experience, yes.
That's good
Now,
to know.
right, it is good to know. So there's a lot of big tech, and there's a lot of things that are not great about big tech, but then there's other
Mhm.
things great about big tech. You can with our product, they have our utility patent, they have our design patent, they know us. If someone
Mhm.
comes on, they help us to knock that product off. Amazon is cognizant of our products. A lot of great things about Amazon for small women-owned businesses and small businesses in general.
Yeah, I like that in the listings it says woman-owned business.
Yes, small business women owned. There's many things about Amazon I'd like to change. We pay
Yeah.
high fees, but they do a lot of work for us. We have our Shopify account. If we had to deliver ourselves to every person that orders on Amazon, our small business would have to be 100 people instead of 5.
Yeah.
But Amazon can do that for us by using Fulfilled by Amazon. So I can't speak highly enough about Fulfilled by Amazon for our small
I'm
business.
we're running late, but I got to ask. So can you apply, say, Amazon sell my product? Can they say, no, you stink, I don't want you?
Yes,
Or do they
they
accept
can.
everybody?
They will accept your product if you follow all the certifications, if you've got the correct certification, if you can provide them with the material manufacturing, that it's safe and
Uh-huh.
that it is, and that it's a good value product. They have to see it. They have to see your packaging. You got to send them sample. And then if they think it's a good product, they'll put it on. And fortunately, ours is a really good product.
Yay, it sure is. Well, I could go on for another 2 hours, but we're over our time. Carrie, it's absolutely a delight to talk to you. And man, I've always liked you, but I didn't know you were so incredibly successful.
Yes.
So, did you
Thanks
see
to
Tina
you.
Chair all in caps? Yes, we do need more of her.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, you are obviously well loved, and it is for to get a hold of Carrie. It is Carrie at easyhold eazyhold.com. Right?
Yes.
All
Reach
right.
out
Well,
anytime, answer any questions. And thank you so much for having me today. You were instrumental in our success.
I never knew that. Isn't that great? I am so happy to learn about that. I just went, yep, they look like they belong together. Sure, I'll ask me. I'll do what I can. All right. Well, Sean, put up our pictures of our sponsors. We've got mobility professionals and urology professionals. A big thank you and shout out to you guys again. Thanks everybody for watching, and tell your friends about this episode because, of course, we're on YouTube, so they can still catch us. And Letty Regan comes in at the very end. Letty and I have known each other since sixth grade, my friends. So let's see. Yes, we've known each other far. Yes, A long, 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 long time. Nice to see you too, Letty. All right. Wonderful. Good job, Carrie. And thank you for being on.
Bye bye now.